Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hi, I forgot to press a button. Anyways, hello everybody. Beverly, you're here. We are so glad to see you. Yeah, Vicky, I think, is just taking a little break from the YouTubes for a little while. We miss her terribly. But we'll be here. Casey Carey is here. The cut is okay. Although I've just noticed it's maybe bleeding through this Band-Aid again. Drunk Beaver Productions, 12 days nicotine free. Congratulations, baby. That's amazing. Good job. Yes, if any of you didn't know, I sliced my hand open earlier today. It sort of put a damper on all my plans. I had like things to do today. And now I have less ability to do them. But I mean, worse, it seems like the bleeding has stopped, although I hope I didn't just start it again. Yeah. You know, be careful with cans, kids. Open them the proper way. That's the way that's the lesson here. We're going to try and do a really quite short intro. Okay? And then, yes, I was swearing blood oaths. You're correct. There was a lot of blood, actually. It was a little bit overwhelming. And now this eye is really itchy. Why are you itchy? Anyways. Fuck. Now all my makeup's coming off. Anyways, we're going to get started because I want to. I want to. And we have to hurry because that was my phone messaging me, asking what time dinner you see. We have to get going now on it. Okay, come on, hit play, pays, and then we can go. Then we can go. I'm so lost without you. Where is Thurston? That's what I've got to say. Whew.
Whiteside, the attorney for the respondent in this case is asking and just talk about inferences that weren't maybe as clear as you meant them to be.
I'm gonna fast forward this so that we get to the point where we're talking about not that lady? Is it that lady? Not that lady. This case. This is the case we're here for. This is the one I see. Oh my god. When I have to turn off the fan for YouTube, it is so hot in here, you guys. Oh my god. My studio is going to be downstairs soon, and it's going to be a lot cooler. Woo!
The next matter we'll have for hearing is Mount and Dorian versus Dorian. And that is number 25-251. All right, and you're Edmund Mount and Joan Dorian. All Thank
You
you.
know, I was under the impression that the original service order needs to be turned in. We just gave you a copy.
Let me
Before, is that
check.
right?
If we have it, you don't have to turn it in again, but I'll check.
And it's kind of moot since the respondent's here.
And Mr. Timothy Dorian.
Did you just say we haven't had any 9-hour streams in years? Oh. Maybe we should do that again. Maybe when we get my new studio, when the new studio set up, I will be able to do that a little bit easier. It's on my mind. Maybe 9-hour pool stream. Oh, I would be like a prune. I'd be like a prune. Christopher Angleby 1. Not Christopher Angleby 2, although he did send $2. Thank you, Christopher. That's actually the first $2 of the week, baby. Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Dorian, can you give me a sound check to make sure that you can hear me?
Okay,
Right.
can you hear me
These-
enough?
It's Mr.
Timothy.
I can't hear very well and your
Okay.
voice
Do-
is
Okay,
really soft for me.
I have a hearing assistance device I can give you to help with that. Okay,
Okay.
so let's get a hearing assist device for her. Ready? And Timothy, are you able to hear?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Timothy, you sound
I
like
can
you're
hear
sitting
it.
very far away.
Gotcha. Your sound is really low, so you may need to move your microphone closer to you.
Sugar-free Red Bull, still the way.
Is this a little better?
A little.
A little
that a
bit better,
sunflower?
yeah. Just keep working. I want to make sure everybody can hear you okay. Give me another sound check real quick.
Testing, testing.
Uh,
1, 2,
How about
3.
now?
All right, ma'am, can you hear him okay? Okay, good. I'm just making sure everybody, excuse me, that everybody can hear you. Okay. All right, then we'll get started. So I'm gonna have each of you raise your right hand, please. And do each of you swear the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yeah.
All right, so Mount and Dorian, and I may just use first names if that's okay with
That's
you,
fine.
since you all sort of share last names here. So Edmund and Joan are going to get to go first because you're the petitioners here. So whoever wants to start, go right ahead.
Okay, the reason that I decided that I needed to file this harassment was because I had received so many vile text messages from my nephew. And we were having a big family reunion and he threatened to crash it and talk and make it uncomfortable for everybody there. He had heard about it. He was uninvited because he has a history of just very vile language. And
Oh, that's why I don't get invited to family events anymore, also, by the way. Just saying. I have a filthy mouth. A filthy, filthy mouth. And if they only knew.
there was too many people in my family that didn't want him there, and they were saying that they couldn't come if he was there. And he wasn't invited initially. And up to that point, I haven't had a lot of contact with him. I have to have contact because I am the power of attorney for his older brother for financial reasons. And he was threatening me initially, and I think initially because he wants to be power of attorney from financial matters for my nephew. And my nephew, Joel, has had enough experience, both positive and negative, with his brother that he adamantly says that Tim cannot be financial power of attorney. And I have it on video. I talked to him last week and he restated that that can't happen. I was just going to try to ignore his missives, is kind of his MO, that he verbally abuses people. His mom, he's currently living with, and she has got beginning dementia, has called me on numerous occasions saying that her son is a psycho. And I'm at a wit's end on what to do about that. I don't feel I can intervene in that situation. The mother had called for police assistance about 4 to 6 times. He's still living in the home with her. And I had told both of them, I thought this could be a win-win situation if you could separate yourself when things got really verbal, because they both can be very verbally abusive. There's enough family members that have had issues with him also in this regard, and have stated that they didn't want to see him ever again. He's had.
I fucking hate families like this, by the way. They're just so toxic within themselves. Like, oh my God. Did you hear how vile Timothy was at the last barbecue? I think he talked about fucking a chicken or something like that. Also, thank you for explaining Streamlabs. Streamlabs is indeed my little manservant, if you will. I think he's a man. I don't know. Anyways. But you can absolutely block Streamlabs. No worries about that. Although I noticed, actually, sorry. Why are you getting so upset, Paisley? If you notice, Streamlabs never used to appear on this chat because I had blocked it from that chat. But now that YouTube Daddy has changed the names, I think I need to block at Streamlabs instead of just Streamlabs. In fact, I'll work on that while we watch.
Past drug abuse. And I don't know how much of that has affected his current behavior. But I don't know what else to do other than file these papers to not be harassed by him.
Edmund, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, we're just, because of his past actions, we're just worried that once this order, if it's dismissed or if it expires, the harassment will start up again. I also might want to note that his brother has informed the hospital front desk that he's not to be allowed to visit him because for similar reasons.
Okay. All right, then I will turn to Timothy then. And Timothy, I ask you in advance to try to keep your microphone as close to you as you can so that everybody here can hear you.
When I provided care for my brother starting, I believe, March 6th up to April 16th here at the house. And it took about 3 months to be able to make that happen. All of the legal framework that was required to.
Well, then they figured it out wrong, Legal Fiction, because I don't use StreamYard. So I would actually hazard a guess that it has to do with either being in the YouTube testing program, which I am in, or it has to do with the XP system. But I don't use StreamYard, so your theory is wrong. Sorry. I use Streamlabs.
Get him into the home. He was here for 42 days, and I was also providing care for my mother as well. So providing care for both of them Just a brief example of the level of care that I had to give my brother included urinating him 15 times a day, every single day, 3 times in the middle of the night.
Did he just say urinating on him 15 times a day? Is that what he just said? Also, I believe it probably has something to do with just being in like the creator program and then having monetization maybe. I also really think that what it was is that you could have the same handle as somebody else, but you can't have the same unique username, and they're tracking points. So yeah. A lot of streamers use StreamYard. I'm aware of that happening, but I personally have used both at different times, and this right now we're using Streamlabs. Although I will point out that the Streamlabs chatbot worked when we were using StreamYard. Also, I'm not sure that we're allowed to, I know we're not allowed to talk about the things that we specifically test in the pilot programs, but I feel like it has something to do with that. And yes, you can opt out of the XP program, as far as I'm aware, but not the naming issue. I think YouTube just figuring shit out, to be honest.
Well, the level of care that I had to give my brother included urinating him 15 times a day, every single day, 3 times in the middle of the night, making 3 home-cooked meals, feeding him by hand, and getting him up and out of the chair because he's bedbound, to sit with the family, to watch a little bit of TV, and to repeat this over and over and over, to make him feel, because he is declining and will probably pass away by the end of the year, that he is loved. And the level of care that I gave him it was exceptional. It really was. And so it's an unfortunate situation that there's a different perspective on that topic, but to me, from my experience with him and what I did, I felt it was exceptional. He decided to leave, and that was really for the best, because it was overwhelming for one person to provide that level of care. And I don't know if Joan knows that, but it's just heartbreaking to hear a contradictory narrative other than that truth. So to get to the specifics of this, when we're talking about harassment, I wouldn't qualify it as harassment. I would qualify it as an engagement with a purpose, a lawful purpose, and a lawful reasoning to engage with Joan regarding the fact that she is my brother's financial POA. And I put this into the table of contents, into what I submitted to the court, which is related to her failure as his financial POA and jeopardizing his benefits, because the state makes it very clear what he can and cannot have. And according to a conversation that I had with her, that was a conference call, the date of that conference call was on March 13th, 2025, and it included my brother here at the home when he lived.
I think that's Creed's birthday, by the way. Also, look, I got 3 new ones of these. I'm obsessed. They are so fucking cute. Look at these little holders. God. My life is so much happier now that I have these in my life. And guess what else? I spoke with the woman who made them. And I told her, I was like, they're so great. And she's like, thank you so much. She was really happy. It was so sweet. Anyways, I bought 3 more for $10. Woo! I'm going to use the red one. I think it's beautiful. Anyways, sir, what are you talking about? Also, I'm having chicken Caesar wraps for dinner with some fries on the side.
And myself, and there were all sorts of talking points involved in that conference call. They included Joel's Washington State pension, what could happen to that if If it doesn't mature, it'll probably be seized by the state to cover the costs of his Medicaid. Other issues in that conversation were his COVID stimulus money. And then that also included what money he had, that Joan was preserving for him. So in that conversation, she had $10,000 in, and I don't know if that was in cash or in an account. And then on top of that, he had basically, that was documented, what he had left was $3,000 in a checking account. And so I wrote all this out, Your Honor. This was from the conversation with her during this conference call. So all of this information here is from that call. This is not, this is from my interaction with her. So this is, to me, it's not made up. It is accurate. I mean, I'm just taking notes. And in the call, she makes it very clear that she has $10,000 of this money that she refers to as his hidden money. And they collectively refer to this as his hidden money. So my argument for engaging with Joan was really that observably, she has failed my brother as the financial power of attorney with the fiduciary responsibility to not risk him losing his. And it just really bothered me that she was so willing to not take responsibility. I don't believe that there was ever any point that I said I wanted to take over the role. I just wanted her to act responsibly within those parameters and do the right thing. And a simple Google search would have indicated to her, and I put this into my submission, of what all of the available options she could have had in this case to keep him legal so that he wasn't jeopardizing his benefits. And it's clear she could have done a spend down. She could have considered putting the money into a trust, which is unlikely, but she could have done that. She could have done a Medicaid compliant annuity, and she also could have gifted the money so that Joel could have given the money to family members, and then he would have been compliant with the Medicaid statutes by the state to continue to receive his benefits. And so my engagement with her, which she's defining as harassment, and I'm defining it as a lawful and legal engagement for the protection of my brother, who, it's very sad that he's kind of giving this indication that I've done anything other than to provide him with love and care and support continuously through the course of his life. And the only conclusion that I can draw based on him having that perspective now would really be the last DSHS assessment that was done, that I submitted as well, that indicates there's certain aspects to my brother that it's not that he's not to be listened to, but he does have delusions. He has hallucinations. He has an opioid dependency. He has behavioral issues. And so it's a little difficult for me to accept this collusion on their part that my brother, who is not of sound mind and body, and I do have my brother's medical power of attorney, he was willing to do that. I've never done anything that would indicate on a financial level. Through no point in my life have I ever engaged in a theft at all, really. I mean, yeah, that I can think of, and then especially not in an environment where there is a punitive look back to say, well, you have a court case, or you were convicted of. I don't have a criminal history at all. So I really don't understand where any of this is coming from. I understand Joan believes that I'm making her uncomfortable, but her responsibility as financial power of attorney includes following the law. And if you violate the law, it is acceptable to be made uncomfortable. And so my purpose for engagement with her was to hold her accountable for what she failed to do for my brother. I don't have an interest in being my brother's financial power of attorney. I urinated him for 15 times a day for 42 days. I just explained to the court what I did for my brother for 42 days.
Can we do the math on that? 15 times 42 is 630 urinations, ladies and gentlemen. 630! Also, isn't 15 times a day a lot? Asking for a friend? That seems like a lot to me. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I have no interest at this point in helping my brother any more than I already have. And it's unfortunate that he feels that way. And it's unfortunate that it's come to this, but I don't think that Joan is satisfying the requirements of the court for this protection order. And I put other information to my response that I really want everything I can do, and I have always wanted this, to get away from these family members. As far as I'm concerned, they are bigots, they are liars, they have manipulated me in multiple ways historically, which are all parts of this case. But as far as the specifics of why we're here today, I don't know how much relevance that is, but I just really want to get away from them. So I don't have a problem blocking her number, deleting her from my life. It has been this way since my father passed away in 2016. I just wanted this to move forward in my life. And so everything was kind of great until there is Joan now taking over the role of being my brother's financial POA. So I have to deal with her, but I never wanted to. So there's no concern, as far as my perspective, to completely just move on and get things back to the way they were, which was with them out of my life. So I'm happy to honor her, but I don't think that the court should impose that legally. There could potentially be consequences for this. I don't know what sort of consequences can come from this. I'm happy to give her what she wants, but I don't think that she's satisfied the requirements of the court.
Okay. All right. Thank you both.
Oh, Ed, I know your picture, but that's not your name. Now you know. Or maybe is it? YouTube Daddy, why do you have to do this to me? I understand that it's difficult in chat for you guys. June, I'm sure some of you could comprehend how much more difficult it is for me to be very confused about... Okay, first of all, I love that command. Thank you. And then secondly, yeah, it is my fault. I did it. I personally asked YouTube Daddy, you know, I actually have a connection to CEOs of big companies, you'll find. I managed to get my way in the door somehow. So don't worry, I'll mention it to YouTube Daddy. One day.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry that your family's going through a difficult time. It sounds like a difficult end of life time for a relative, and I know that's difficult and stressful for any family. And I think we've all been there or we will be at some point or another. And it's never easy, and it doesn't appear to be easy here. In reading the petition in this case and the declarations that came in afterwards, I was concerned about this case not falling under the category of harassment, and the issues here that really underlie I guess the difficulties don't have anything to do with an anti-harassment action. The court has no jurisdiction over the financial realities of these parties. We can't appoint guardians or powers of attorney in the context of hearings like this. All of that has to be done in another kind of court hearing in another context. And I don't believe that any of your problems will be solved until that is addressed in those contexts. And coming here and trying to get an anti-harassment order to sort of maybe tamp down some of the conflict, just isn't going to do that. And besides which, none of what I've heard today fits the definition of harassment. So I can't issue an anti-harassment order under these circumstances. So I will be denying the petition for an anti-harassment order. The anti-harassment temporary order that was issued when this case was initially filed with the court on July 29th is terminated.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're gonna go back, watch the other case that was before this. Yeah, Judge, raise that hand. Raise it. I said raise it.
Get going on the rest of these.
Yeah,
And
we will.
Ms.
This is
Walden,
our
I'm going to
last
start
case
with
for
your other
tonight.
case. That'll be Walden versus Kiara Bloom Willis. You can just have a seat right there, Ms. Walden.
I can't say Brooklyn. I signed an NDA. Take that as you may.
All right, and you're Kiara? And is Bloom Willis the correct way to say your last name? This is number 25-217.
Yes, congrats, John. Oh my God, I looked
Both
into having a
parties
musk
sworn in.
baby.
Do you both swear the testimony you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, all right, and Ms. Walden, you're the petitioner. You get to go first. Right ahead. And keep in mind that I have read your petition, so I know what you've said in writing. You don't
Okay.
have to say it orally too.
So pretty much since Kira and I's fallout in like February-ish, she has continued to slander me and my business online, and most of it is full of lies. And then recently I had read her wrote all of her evidence. Most of it's lies, and I do have proof, but because her stuff was not turned in until Wednesday, we weren't able to submit the evidence to prove that that was a lie.
So you're referring to these exhibits that were submitted on the
Yeah.
6th?
Yes.
Mhm.
And she has continued, she has also been working with Emily Gibson, who I have a lot of history with, and she tried to kill me in a car crash last year. And they have both continued to harass and slander me and my business online.
Okay. Now, I'm familiar, of course, with the material that you filed in your petition and attached to your petition. So besides what you've just told me now and that other material, is there anything else I need to know before I turn to her?
Yeah, Kira has a history of stalking and harassment. She has stalked and harassed an old friend of hers named Savannah Anderson, who I spoke with not long after Kira and I fell out, and I found that Kira would consistently drive past Savannah's house to try to catch her outside, blare her horn, and she would do that a couple times with me in the car, but apparently this was a consistent thing, and I was not aware of that. And then she also has a history of stalking a minor named Catherine Force, who she had consistently said to myself and my wife that she wanted to try to get a fake profile, which she would make multiple fake profiles and continuously try to contact Catherine Force. And she would say consistently to us that she wanted to see if she could convince Catherine to meet this fake guy out in public and do whatever it is Kira wanted to do. And that's with her history of the stalking and harassment, and with how this has only been going on for about 4 or 5 months, but she has proven that even after years, because she's continued to harass Savannah for 2 years and Catherine Force for a year, I am worried that she will continue until she gets just bored and moves on to the next person.
All right, Ms. Bloom Willis, it's your turn. Tell me your side of it.
March 26th, I decided to cut contact with them.
The day after my birthday, March 26th. Ma'am, speak up. Also, yes, these are cup holders, Casey Carey. They fit on this cup pretty good, but they also fit like right on these my big cups. They are amazing for walking with. They keep the cups level and they don't fucking tilt. And I love it. This one's a little broken because I've been abusing it, but I bought 3 more, so we should be good. And they also have this little tab here, and I think it's for if you would like to put your straw in it. So like you could put your drink or a pen, I suppose, but like you could put your straw to the side and hold it. My glass straw, that's right. Bougie as fuck. Oh, fuck. Speaking of fuck. Anyways, I gotta fix that. Okay, let's finish this case off and then I gotta make dinner. I'm so fucking hungry. I haven't eaten today. Well, actually, I had a fig. I had 1 fig. That's it.
And ever since then, they've texted me on fake numbers and different accounts after I blocked them. I have 3 police reports and I do have a case number with tribal police because they kept coming into my place of work to harass me and causing a scene. And they got 2 verbal warnings that they're not allowed to come in there. I spoke with a police officer and I was advised to call 911 if I see them. But as of now, they are not allowed in my place of work. If they are seen back, they will be considered trespass. And I've done what I can do to try to keep them away from me.
Yeah, it's 4:25 here.
Now, I received this case when it was initially filed by Ms. Walden. At the time I reviewed that case, I did have concerns about whether it was appropriate to even set the case for a hearing. But given some of the things you said, and I think maybe some inferences that weren't maybe as clear as you meant them to be, Ms. Walden, I set the case for a hearing just to give you every opportunity to be able to come to court and demonstrate a case that harassment or stalking took place. Now, nothing that I've heard here today from you, in addition to the things that you filed in writing, even not considering what Ms. Bloom Willis has filed, none of that convinces me that there's any harassment or stalking going on. Now, what you talk about in terms of, slander, misrepresentations, harm to the reputational value of your business, those may all be actionable cases under the law, but they're not actionable cases here. They're not actionable in district court. They're not actionable as anti-harassment petitions. They may be another kind of lawsuit that can be filed in another context, but not here. So even though she may have said things or done things that harm a reputation or your business, that isn't a case of harassment, an anti-harassment order that can be heard here in the district court. So for those 2 reasons, 1, harassment hasn't been proven by a preponderance of the evidence, and 2, it sounds like you're pursuing the wrong kind of lawsuit. I'm going to find that the case has not been proven and deny your petition for an anti-harassment order.
Your Honor, if I may.
No,
my name
you
is
may not.
Chris.
You may not interrupt court like this. That's inappropriate. Okay, if you're upset or you disagree with what's happened here, talk to your friend about it afterwards, but don't attempt to interrupt the court. It's not acceptable. All right.
Oh my God, the reprimand. He spanked her in open court with his voice, you guys. I love that. Anyways, you guys, that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all he wrote. I have some great cases that I got today, but we're going to watch them tomorrow. I am going to go make dinner. I'm going to also, oh, fuck. Fuck. I just thought about that live. I'm cutting my hair tomorrow, you guys. It's happening. It's been confirmed. The hair will be different Wednesday. So last show with my long hair tomorrow. F in the chat for what? My hat? My hair? Just F in the chat? I didn't see what it was for. Or just F in the chat for the hat. Judge Crumb had some good ones today. Does he leave them up, Manuel? Tell me if he leaves them up. Yes, Rose, that's correct. You're released from legal duties tonight. Is everybody so fucking excited about these? I love that we're calling them little bags, but they're my cup holders, and I fucking love them. I'm so excited about them. They are excellent. Okay, hit a button there. Anywho, I think Colin's live at 5. I'm not sure who else has got something on. Oh, okay. Got something on the go tonight. But Beverly Bradford is still getting better. She has her surgery coming up this week. We are very thoughtful of her. Jonathan P. still working on things. We are thinking of you too. All of our family. We really do, you guys. Oh, and John will be live later. John, who got his new skull mug and reached 666 in fucking August. Way to set a goal and achieve it, John. Make sure my new haircut is litigant dupable. I know. You know, there may actually be a short period of time where we have to invest in more wigs. Because I might just cut it all off. What if I shaved my head? Would you guys love me still if I shaved my head and I showed up with a fucking shaved head? Annie DeFranco style? Ugh. If I could play a song right now by Annie DeFranco, I would. But I can't, because you know how YouTube Daddy is. What I can do in the meantime is say goodbye, say thank you, appreciate each and every one of you, and remind you, I think I'll be back. It'll be an earlier show tomorrow because I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow night. Might even be tomorrow during the day. I might even show up with different hair tomorrow. I don't know yet. I haven't even fucking decided. Anyways. Oh, it's so hot here. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor. Remember that I love you. And I'm proud of you. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.